This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stoughton joining me this week, Executive Director of the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce, Rob Taylor. Rob, thanks for coming back.
Great to be here.
And we all know spring is in the air. Maybe not here. We still got some snow. We got plenty of it and more coming. But it is in the air down in Florida. Spring training has opened up. The Red Sox, a full squad, has reported this week. I think they have an exhibition game on Friday against Northeastern, their annual game against the college. And then they start with games. Obviously, split squad, not going to have a lot of stars in there right away. But, hey, baseball's here. You're a big baseball guy. This must be an exciting time. A lot of fun for you.
Absolutely. I always love to see the sort of progress on NESN. You know, it starts a couple of weeks ago when they send the truck with all the equipment down, and then pitchers and catchers report, and then the full squad. And it is sort of that hope springs eternal. Although for us, it's a bit of a unique situation in that we're coming off one of the greatest seasons in Red Sox history. And for the most part, the squad is largely intact from last year. So, man, I guess really coming at this season and this spring training from a real position of comfort, I guess.
Right, exactly. And like you said, they don't always have that. It's always, it seems like it's more often than not, hey, we got a rebound this year, but this year the Red Sox are the champs and they're the favorite, or maybe slight favorites, one of the top favorites. We talked last week about some of the offensive guys coming back, which, like you said, most of them are on the pitching side. All of them really are. You've got Chris Sale, David Price, Rick Porcello, Eduardo Rodriguez, and then Nathan Eovaldi, who they signed to that deal. Starting staff, some questions. You just don't know how Sale's going to hold up. Price is always a question mark. We'll get to him later. Eovaldi, can he do it for a full season? But this staff, they got some pretty good talent. You got to be at least pretty confident in that.
I'm very confident. Of course, again, you've got one of the greatest seasons to sort of look back on, and we've really returned pretty much every guy from our lineup. I think, you know, some of the question marks would be in the bullpen. Right. But really, I think in the case of our starters, you've got guys that literally monkeys are off their back. Yep. And sort of the narrative lines on some of them have changed from 0-9 in the playoffs to now actually having some wins and some great performances to sort of put out there. I guess I really like our chances this year. Some of the stuff I'm reading on the internet, that we've got obviously a really strong chance of being the first team to repeat since I think it was the Yankees in 2000 that repeated from the '99 season. So, boy, it's just, I mean, it's a really good time to be a New England sports fan in general. Yes. The Bruins are playing great. The Celtics, obviously the Pats just won the Super Bowl. Right. And here we go. We're starting up a season with Red Sox baseball. And boy, it's just fun to see the boys of spring down there and the warm weather that will eventually return here, although not by our weather this morning, not for too long. But so I'm really confident. I think I'm really good about it.
And you talk about the guys with the monkey off their back, and you alluded to it. It's David Price you're talking about, and I think everyone knows it. It's no secret. He came in, high expectations. He had a very good first season, but then in the playoffs he sputtered. His second season, he was injured. He came back. He had that whole dust up with Dennis Eckersley. There was a lot going on there. And then finally last year, he comes in. He really gets along with the rest of the team. The manager, Alex Cora, he goes out. He pitches a very good season and then lights out in the playoffs. I mean, is Red Sox Nation finally going to be happy with him, and have they finally fallen in love with him, or is it still going to be the same old thing, one misstep, and he's public enemy number one?
You know, I think the chemistry is just there for the Sox this year. All indications that I've seen is it's really the same clubhouse environment. If there's any chink in the armor, is the whole dust up between the Trump supporters and the non-Trump supporters. Who's going to go to the White House, who will stay home. But Alex Cora has sort of pushed that to the side and said that's not going to be an issue. There's just too much goodwill on the team. And of course, success sort of begets success. Yes. And I think that I'm really sort of getting that feeling from the Sox this year that it's just going to be snowball. I think really, I just like our chances. And the pressure is off by all accounts. these guys are just going to have fun this year, and hopefully they can put it together like they did last year.
Right. I mean, like you said, they won last year, obviously, and they have a great team that's coming back. They do have some holes, and we'll keep updating that as the preseason and spring training goes on, what kind of bullpen help they're going to get. And also, they got some free agents coming up at the end of this season and the next couple of years, and we'll talk about some of those free agents in the next segment when we talk, obviously Manny Machado being signed, so we'll talk about that. Betts coming up in a few years, Bradley, Bogarts, and Chris Sale at the end of this year. So we'll talk to Rob and see if he thinks they can re-sign Chris Sale at the end of this year. We'll take a break. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.